Hi, I'm Vas. Today I'm going to talk about emotions and emotional control. Now, this is something that is so difficult to control, isn't it? All of us are slipping in and out of good emotions. And when we are out of good emotions, it means we go into bad emotions. What are some good emotions? Love, happiness, compassion, focus. All these are good emotions. What are bad emotions? Anger, hate, guilt, sadness, fear. Now all these are bad emotions. Now, why do we have them? Well, some people say we must have bad emotions and good emotions. Well, we do have them. That's a fact. The thing is this, it's not about not having them. It's about being in control of our emotions. So, Richard Bandler and John Grinder came up with a metaphor. The metaphor is a boat. A boat, a ship, when it sails in the sea, and it has got to do something in open sea, if it does not anchor itself to the seabed, the ship will be drifting, and therefore it cannot do work consistently. And consistency is what we want to be able to do, to be able to perform in a consistent way. So when our emotions are on a roller coaster, we cannot be consistent. And some people say, if you're not consistent, you're non-existent. Now it is true. And so what we want to do is to make sure we learn how to take control of our emotions. Like, for example, fear, for example. Now it's not about eradicating fear. I would be fearful of eradicating fear. Now what I want to do is to be in control of fear and let fear guide me to do the right thing, to do it on time, to do it well. So fear is good, but when it consumes your life, when it takes over your life, it cripples you. So what we're going to do is to be able to have all these good emotions and allow these bad emotions to keep us in check. So now how do you do that? You see, there are many times when we get into good emotions, right? When we get into good emotions, why do we get into them? How do we get into them? We get into them when we hear nice music. When you hear good music, suddenly you feel so good. It evokes a memory. And when someone smiles, it evokes a nice memory. You know, you smile along with the person. When you smell a new loaf of bread in a bakery, you go, wow, you know, I want to have that, you know. So then you hear if you love your mother's voice, you know, somewhere outside there, and suddenly it evoke a memory and a good feeling. And at the same time, the reverse happens. When you hear a voice of someone that you dislike on the outside, you begin to feel dislike, feel hate maybe, or even feel fear. So you see, we anchor our emotions using our senses. It happens all the time. It has already happened. And which is why we are not in control of our emotions. So whatever triggers are out there, it activates the negative emotion. I hear the person's voice I don't like, bang, the negative emotion comes. I smell the bread, wow, I feel good and I feel hungry. So all these are happening all the time. And even colors, for example, if you are in the shopping center and you see the big word S-A-L-E, sale, it means what? Something is cheap, go and buy. So why do they color it in red and white or yellow and red? Because these colors are anchors to the human being. So when you see that from far, you get drawn to it and you end up buying things that you may not need. So this is how anchors are used in advertising, for example. But the truth is this, we are anchored to all these things in our lives all the time. Now how do you do it consciously so that we can have these positive emotions judiciously? Whenever we want it, we can have it. Now that is what NLP is all about. We teach you how to get into an emotional state that you want to be in. Like for example, you want to be happy. When you get into the emotional state, we lock it in with a stimulus. And that's called anchoring. And then that stimulus will be your trigger for you to use whenever you feel jaded, whenever you feel sad, you feel afraid, and you want to get back into the emotion again. What do? You activate that anchor, and the positive emotions floods into your body, and you're able to perform. And so that is what emotional control is all about. And in one body, we can have 4 or 5 emotions and allow the emotions to serve us judiciously. You see, sometimes it's so easy to tell someone who is depressed that they should be positive. They should think positive. They should be happy. All these are advice that are a dime a dozen. It's cheap. It's impossible to do. So what kind of advice can you give? You got to get the person away from the depression by moving their body, and then think about how to use the body to get into a positive emotional state. And once they get into a positive emotional state, by moving their body, they can then lock it into the stimulus, and whenever they get depressed, they can fire the anchor, activate the anchor, and get into a positive emotional state. And in so doing, they become resourceful and become successful all day long. And if you can become successful all day long, then you can become successful all life long. So, how many of you are willing and daring to tell your loved one that you will never be angry again? Would you dare? I'm sure you won't. Why? Because you don't know how it is done. I have told my wife this, and I've kept a clean slate for years right now. Would you like to be able to tell someone that you will never be angry again? If you really would like that, I would see you at the next video. See you later.